Welcome to Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive, part of ESPN's Road to Champ Week, presented by Wendy's. San Jose State in town, 3-13 in the Mountain West, taking on Utah State. The Aggies 11-5 in conference play, their second straight year under Coach Craig Smith with 20 or more wins. It's senior night here at the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum, so a great student section here honoring the seniors for Utah State. And we talked about it a moment ago, Adrian, but Sam Merrill, the super senior for the Aggies, who has just been spectacular, averaging a shade under 20 points per game this season and has had 20 or more in 4 of his last 5 games.
He fills every box. When you talk about leadership, intangibles, first one there, last one to lead, coach on the floor, hitting big shots, making his teammates better. We can't overemphasize what he's meant to this program.
Utah State has won 5 in a row and 8 of their last 9. Adrian talked about it in the open, but the injury bug that has bit them throughout the season, their big three, Merrill, Bean, and Keita, all have dealt with injuries, although Merrill and Bean were able, for the most part, to play through it. Keita missed a significant amount of time. This is the 13th straight game in a row that they have had this starting lineup on the floor, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, they picked up where they left off, and this is the time you want to be budding. You want to be heading in with great momentum. March 1st is only a week away.
Crazy how fast the season has gone by. Nimi Keita hustling to win the opening draw for the Aggies in their white uniforms. Abel Porter and Sam Merrill in the backcourt for this Utah State team. And Utah State really anchored, as I mentioned, by the big three, Merrill, Keita, and Bean. There is Keita on the tip follow, offensive rebound and putback.
There's an old saying that you can't teach size. It's size close to the basket, but he's long the right way, explosive, and he doesn't deviate from what he does. He's going to be paint to paint.
San Jose State has lost 7 in a row, 10 of their last 11. They are 3-13 in conference. That's 2 more conference wins than they had last season. And they played some really tight games. They lost to San Diego State on a buzzer beater. They lost by 6 points to Colorado State. Diogo Brito, one of the seniors honored before the game from Portugal, with a reverse layup for Utah State. But Adrian, San Jose State, it's a rebuilding year. They've had to deal with transfers leaving the program, and it seems like every year they have to rebuild.
Yes. And you have to coach what's out there on the floor. We said in the open they have a puncher's chance because they will lock and load at the three-point line, and they'll look for that consistently.
The biggest name to transfer out of San Jose State a couple years ago was Brandon Clark, who went to Gonzaga.
I saw him, and he was a one-man wrecking machine for San Jose State. He was able to defend, play above the rim. I believe he led the conference in block shots, but we can see that because he was a lottery pick.
This is their star, Seneca Knight, the sophomore from Lafayette, Louisiana, who was short on that three, coming off a 37-point performance in the loss at Colorado State. San Jose State yet to score a bucket. Keita goes down awkwardly. He traveled. The referees, Randy McCall, Vern Harris, and Kevin Brill, tonight's ball game.
Well, he's got to know, once you have 2 dribbles, he's in the scoring position. 1, 2, right there. Go straight up and dunk it. He's raw. I was talking to some NBA scouts extensively about him. He's on their radar. His defense is more advanced than the offense.
San Jose State trying to feed it inside to their big man, Eduardo Lane, the junior from Brazil. So we have Brazil versus Portugal in the low block tonight.
And this isn't soccer, the World Cup.
Well, I gotta say, basketball has become the world's game, right?
You know, when I went over to Spain, I thought Spain was the biggest, basketball was the biggest sport. And it's not even close. It's their football.
It's creeping up.
And
mostly because of you and your time there, of course. Sam Merrill missing the three-pointer, over 2,000 career points. He's 3rd all-time for the Aggies. He's also 2nd in career assists at 460. Double team on Lane. The kick through to Omari Moore, who bricks that three. You mentioned it. San Jose State likes to shoot a lot of threes, whether they're making them or missing them.
Sure, and that's the neutralizer because they don't have the firepower inside. But that was a good shot. You got to be able to capitalize on the opportunities.
Offensive rebound for Justin Bean, who's averaging 10 rebounds per game, and it pays dividends as Abel Porter knocks down the three.
That was the equivalent of a 5-point play because of the offensive rebound, saving that possession and getting a wide open look.
Justin Bean, the former walk-on.
Yes.
Who is a double-double machine, 14 double-doubles this season. And he is the blue-collar guy down low for the Aggies. Good ball movement. Bean rejected on the baseline. It was Richard Washington who came over for the block. San Jose State lost it out of bounds. It will go back to the Aggies.
Excellent job by Washington, saving the play right there, not giving up on it. Oh, Bean cocking it back. Nice effort both ways.
Washington, the transfer from Tallahassee Community College by way of Wake Forest. Played there for 2 years, albeit sparingly, missed a season with an injury. Sam Merrill cocks another three and gets that one to drop.
With the triple. In rhythm, caught that in rhythm. Now for San Jose State, they've got to get themselves a score. This is senior night. You want to keep the crowd quiet, which is hard to do, but you want to see if you can get a score or get to the free throw line.
These two teams met way back December 4th when Utah State was ranked number 25 in the nation. It was a 71-59 win for the Aggies in that game. They didn't have Mimi Keita, so San Jose State for the first time having to deal with both Keita and Bean down low, and it's a 10-0 start for the Aggies.
So you're saying it might be a headache if you don't hit the shot.
It's a headache for anybody in this conference. You take a look at Craig Smith, who has done a spectacular job in his second season with the Aggies. 28 wins last year, 22, and looking for more. It helps when you got a guy like Sam Merrill averaging nearly 20 points per game. 10-0, Aggies on top. Thank you for your support of Aggie basketball. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. Get slam dunk savings today. Visit progressive.com. Sam Merrill knocking down the three right before the break. Utah State on top 10-0. And Adrian, we continue to sing his praises, but he was the Mountain West Player of the Year last year, over 2,000 points, and a big reason why everybody was so high on this team coming into this season.
Yeah, he's delivered, responsible. He plays with such poise. Again, he can play 2 and 3 possessions ahead of the defense, and he's always prepared. He's played through injury, had an ankle injury, and now he's really feeling good, especially the last 5 games.
I would say so. Back-to-back threes for Merrill. And Utah State, Adrian, they're 22-7. And Joe Lunardi right now has them as one of the last 4 byes getting into the NCAA tournament, which means they wouldn't have to play in that opening round. Consistently or over the course of history has been called the play-in round, although as the field has expanded, it is no longer considered the play-in round. But if they were to get that bye and if they were to get into the NCAA tournament, we would assume that San Diego State at number 5 in the country is a lock to make the tournament as well. So they would be an at-large bid potentially from the Mountain West Conference, which is kind of a precarious place to be. You can't really afford to lose any games down the stretch. They've got this one and one more against New Mexico.
Say everything you just said again.
It's a precarious place to be.
So, in other words, what it is why they would be so tough is they're battle-tested. They're not afraid of the moment. They can play a half-court game. They can also play tempo. Think about the teams that are in the Mountain West. Some you have transition. Some like to trap. Some like to play a zone. That helps you for the NCAA tournament. And when you have clutch shooting in Sam Merrill, and you also have a post presence in Keita, and a wonderful coach right here in Craig Smith, you got yourself an opportunity.
As I mentioned, 28 wins last year, 22 wins and counting so far this year. They're 14-1 at home. And again, one of those last 4 byes according to Joe Lunardi. Here is Mimi Keita. Good post move, working on Christian Anigwe down low.
Excellent footwork, soft touch, taking his time. He has a high ceiling, and a lot of times, you know what? If I'm a young college player, I would look at a JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee was not the same player as he is now at 32, 33 years old. For big guys, it takes time. Now, he took his time right here. He's got the length. He's got the size. Takes his time. Nice soft touch inside. Look at his run. He has an easy gait. He doesn't struggle to get up and down the court. He's got a high ceiling.
He's a menace, as you called him, on the glass. He's coming off a season-high 15 rebounds in the win against Wyoming. And also, he's a shot blocker as well. 2+ blocks per game in 7 of his last 8.
Defensively, he knows how to naturally guard the basket, help him recover.
San Jose State still searching for their first bucket, now 0 for 6 from the floor. Abel Porter thought about it. Kick out. Brito thought about it as well. Unselfishness on the part of the Aggies, and Keita will go to the free throw line.
Now, this last possession didn't show up as a block shot. It won't show up as a block shot, but because of his presence, that really felt it. Right here, you have a 7-footer. We talked about being in position. That was intimidation. It won't show up as a block shot, but it did alter that possession and start a fast break. He was rewarded by running the floor.
Sophomore from Portugal, missed almost 10 games in a row with an injury and then came back and then missed 4 games. So he's been in and out of the lineup, but as we mentioned, 13 games in a row now for Utah State where they've had this starting lineup on the floor and they've started to congeal as a unit.
Well, let me tell you how good I think they are. I had Nevada last year with the Twins going to a Final Four.
The Martin brothers.
Going to a Final Four, and they were able to beat them. So this is how good this team could possibly be.
Bean, the steal and the finish. Bean and Brito are second and third in the Mountain West in steals this year.
Bean just plays. They say he's like a Tyler Hansbrough from years ago. Psycho T, he just gets after it.
He's that caffeinated Bean, if you will. First bucket of the game for San Jose State goes to Trey Smith, and a sarcastic round of applause from the Aggies fans who see their team up by 19-2.
This is a 2-3 zone now for San Jose State. This is the first time we're seeing the zone.
The ball movement, Merrill in the corner. His third triple of the game.
If you're a golfer, you would say he's in a golfing swing. Nothing he's hitting the wrong way. The ball is just going. If you were baseball, you say it's a home run swing. And now, for basketball, this is senior night. He wants to make it a goodie for the road.
San Jose State 0 for 6 from 3 after that miss from Zach Chappelle. See how long the Spartans stay in this zone as Utah State, one of the best at reversing the ball from side to side, and an offensive foul on Seneca Knight. But reversing the ball movement, all things you talk about, fundamentals of really good senior-led teams, and it's a tough task to go up against with a young team, an inexperienced team, and that's what Jean Prilot has.
Yeah, exactly. Now, you see that there's 3 wins this season, one in the last 2 seasons as we're seeing right there. So it's been a slow crawl, but he's been a patient coach. He believes in his team. And listen, we can't gimmick the audience. You're seeing what you're seeing, folks. It's 22-2 right now. With the blue jerseys, it may be a long night.
The ball ripped away by San Jose State. Ooh, the step back, just couldn't finish. Zach Chappelle, the sophomore from Sacramento.
It looked good, though.
Yeah, it did. Style points were there.
Style points was there.
Well, that corner 3 has been open all game long. This time, Brock Miller takes advantage of it.
They were waiting for him to have a good game. I was watching him and shoot around. I like his high release point, and he has a short memory because he just got shook on that little and one crossover, but he came back with a big corner shot.
Well, Miller's got a short memory shooting as well. He was 0 for 7 in the last game against Wyoming. Hits his first field goal there.
Nice pass.
Good feed inside. Chappelle got it to Ralph Agee, and one for the Spartans.
And the Spartans are better than what they're showing right now. Nice hesitation inside. Excellent. Let's see if that gets the lid off a little bit. See if they can get into a better offensive rhythm. And when you're scoring baskets, it helps the defensive end.
Agee is the junior transfer from East Los Angeles College, averaging 6 points, 4 rebounds per game. And we talked about it, but when the San Jose State Spartans have guys leaving and their best players leaving, they've got to rely on guys like Agee to come from the JUCO level, from the community college level, to fill those spots.
And it takes time. It takes time. And when you're in a very good conference, you have guys that's an NCAA tournament team. San Jose State that's been rocking. Right now, the Aggies that have been rocking. It's tough sledding. 5
in a row for the Aggies. Here's Miller again. Back-to-back for Brock Miller.
No hesitation. He was practicing. He's playing like he's been practicing. His coach, Craig Smith, said he was looking forward to him having a big game.
Agee gets the first 3-pointer of the game for the Spartans, first in 8 attempts for the team. Utah State is 6 for 8 from 3. Alfonso Anderson, Kuba Karvovsky, and Sean Bairstow in the game now for the Aggies, along with Merrill and the hot-handed Brock Miller. Here's Anderson.
Nice ball move.
Everything is going in for Utah State.
It's been target practice for the white jerseys. Everything, like you said, with the ball movement, hitting open shots off of assists. The work hasn't been hard so far.
Now 7 3-pointers in the first half. They've only made 11 field goals total. And a traveling violation and a turnover on San Jose State.
Media timeout on the floor.
It is not raining, but snowing threes here in the high altitude of Logan, Utah. Saturday, our full day of college basketball is highlighted by these two big games. At 6 Eastern, we'll have, for now, number 7 Duke taking on Louisville. Taking on Virginia, who are 2 back in the conference. And then 9th-ranked Maryland leads Big Ten by 2 games. They'll host number 24 Michigan State, who are in second, both games on ESPN and the ESPN app. And Duke losing to Wake Forest in double overtime today.
What was that team in the red that you said?
That
Maryland?
would be, that's right,
The
Maryland.
Terps?
Yep. Your
Wow.
Terps. Your Terps.
And what place are they in?
They would be number 1.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, I'm mad they're in the Big Ten, but I got Big Ten love for them. Just win, baby. Just win.
We were talking about it earlier. Eric Roth and Adrian Branch here with you. Bracketology, last 4 buys. Right now you see Utah State, according to bracketologist Mr. Lenardi, is in as an at-large from the Mountain West. And according to Joe, Mountain West will have 2 teams, including Utah State and San Diego State. The point I was making earlier, Adrian, is listen, it's not a knock on the Mountain West, but it hasn't been its best this season. So if you are Utah State and you're trying to keep that at-large bid, you cannot afford to lose basketball games down the stretch, and they haven't.
Sure, and they're playing well. They're on fire. When you look at their stats, the net was 38 and the BPI was 10. For all 4 of those that were on the screen, that was outstanding. So control the controllables. They're doing that right now.
Merrill was looking for his 4th 3-pointer of the first half. Utah State started this game 19-0, was their best start to a game since they were out at a 22-0 lead against Fresno State in 2010. And the Aggies are shooting 61% from the floor and 70% from 3. Here's Sean Bairstow, the dribble drive.
It wasn't the prettiest crossover I saw, but he got it done and got to the basket. What you're seeing is a team that sits down defensively and reacts to the ball. And then watch this. It's typically 2, 3, 4 passes on both sides of the floor. That's second. That's the 3rd pass on the first side. Now they change it to the second side. That's the 5th pass inside. Move the basketball, try to fatigue the defense.
Kuba Karvovsky came up short on the baby hook. Ball loose. Karvovsky came right to his feet. He picked it up for the rebound.
Watch it again with the ball movement if it's not a straight line drive.
Merrill, kick out. Bairstow, the head fake. The lob. Karvovsky, and 1. No, basket, no good. An offensive foul on Sean Bairstow. Player control foul before he made the lob to Karvovsky.
Eric, Utah State looks like they're in mid-season form. They look like they enjoy playing with each other. No one is straining the offense. Defensively, it carries over. It's 5 guys moving as one. When you balled up 5 fingers and punch, that's a heck of an impact.
Well, mid-season form is good to have at the end of the season.
That's right. That's right. Right now, they are clicking.
They've got one more game after this before the Mountain West tournament. That's on the road against New Mexico, who has been depleted with injuries, with players getting kicked off the team. It is not the year that New Mexico had hoped for. Nimi Keita fighting for position inside. He got it, and then he got fouled.
Well, letting the big guys go in position. Now for Keita, he's got to go up there and dunk that one. You can't be indifferent. Go hit your free throws. If I'm coaching that, it's like, young man, you've got to punish the inside presence. You have to intimidate right there. He should have made that shot.
Shooting 2.
Be happy to have Nimi Keita back and healthy.
Okay, big man, what's that? Come on. You're trying to be a lottery pick. You're trying to make a statement in the NBA. You've got to come up. What would Shaquille O'Neal do? He would try to break the basket. He'd try to hurt something.
Yeah, that vertical leap there looked like your vertical leap.
Well,
now, not in the day. Now, not in the day.
I see the little counter jab you had. No problem, my rookie.
Hey, I've seen the videos, the old black and whites. You could jump out of the gym.
It was a little grainy. Nice
the
shot.
8mm. Christian Anigwe, the sophomore from Phoenix, his family better known for his sister who played at Cal and now plays for the Dallas Wings in the WNBA. Christine.
See if Seneca can get going.
He can't, missing the three-pointer long. An offensive rebound by Richard Washington. Strong on the putback is the star. Seneca Knight now 0 for 4 from the floor, coming off that 37-point performance against Colorado State. Good hands underneath by Agee, knocked it loose, but right to Alfonso Anderson came up short. Agee will try another three.
Aggressive.
He's been aggressive.
Well, why not? You're down by a boatload.
Well,
why not?
He hit a three earlier, so he's trying to get the heat check going. Abel Porter will go to the free throw line. A boatload, or 24 points. The Aggies on top by 2 dozen. This week, our NBA Wednesday doubleheader tips off in Houston with James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and the Rockets hosting Ja Morant and the Grizzlies at 8 Eastern. Then the Celtics wrap up their 4-game road trip in Salt Lake City against Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz. Our coverage begins with Stephen A's pregame Sports Center at 7 on ESPN and the ESPN app. The Jazz, a dismal performance against the Suns last night. I got a chance to check out that game in Salt Lake City last night.
I kind of enjoyed it. I live in Phoenix now.
24-point advantage for the Aggies here in Logan, Utah on a senior night. Eric Rothman, Adrian Bench, happy to be here with you at the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum. And Adrian, we talked about San Jose State, the struggles that they've had this season. They're 7-21, 3-13 in conference. Despite the big deficit right now, what would you like to see more of from them?
Well, emotionally, they look flat. They look like I don't know if they believe they can win this game. I don't see the urgency. I don't see anybody mad at their teammates, mad at the opponent. So they look like they're assuming the position of playing catch-up. Also, if you look at the effort plays, they have a differential where they're 8 more rebounds for the white jerseys, the home team. So you look at the attitude and the disposition, I don't see the fire that should be there. And also, you look at the effort, and I don't see the effort off of the glass. So we can't, again, gimmick the public. They're seeing what they're seeing right now. San Jose State has 11 points, and they've got to get an attitude adjustment in the form of, listen, it's a privilege to play. We're young enough. We're healthy enough. Let's go out here and see if we can make a statement and create a moment.
San Jose State 4 of 18 from the floor, 2 of 13 from 3, and their turnover troubles continue. That's turnover number 9, and then a foul to make it worse. Eduardo Lane called for the personal.
And it comes to a talent differential right now, too. Taking your eyes off the ball, basic fundamental plays.
The Aggies got out to a 19-0 start, and the Aggies, we talked about their big three. We talked about Bean, Merrill, and Keita, and those are the 3 obvious players to talk about. The issue with the Aggies this season has been finding a reliable 4th and 5th option. Not to say that they need those guys to score 15 or 20 points a game, but they need some reliability out of a Brito or a Brock Miller, and that's what they've started to find. And a big reason why is what you talked about earlier, is when the main guys are healthy, it takes the pressure off the other guys.
Absolutely. Nobody has to do anything. You don't strain the offense, and when you're playing well offensively, it carries over to the defensive end.
Amy Keita, another rebound after he had the shot go in on the other end. He's got 10-4 now as Brito, the quick 3-point trigger.
Well, he missed that shot, but that was a good decision. That was an open 3 stepping into it.
Brito and Keita both from Portugal.
Oh, distance won that one.
Now the Spartans 2 for 14 from 3. They'll keep chucking them. They're not stopping. You called them the Houston Rockets of the Mountain West.
Well, you don't want them to chuck. You want them to shoot it.
Cada, 2 big steps in the lane. Offensive rebound. The Gumby move by Justin Bean.
I'm going to use the word never. I've never seen a guy track the ball relentlessly like he does. And I played in the era with the Charles Barkley, the round mound, the rebound. Played against some real Charles Barkley kind of. But this guy is relentless. Watch, he just pursues the ball, pursues it, and then finding what he's looking for.
Nearly 4 offensive rebounds per game. That leads the Mountain West. Over 300 rebounds this season. And a guy who was a former walk-on and now averaging 13 points and 10 rebounds and top 15 in the nation in double-doubles.
Where were the knuckleheads when he was coming out of school and didn't see his kind of potential?
Coming out of Moore, Oklahoma, and has really blossomed this year with more playing time. Turnover number 10 on San Jose State. He only played 12 minutes a game last year, averaging 4 points, 4 rebounds, but he has just taken off like a rocket this year.
Yeah, he's relentless. He throws caution to the wind. As I was looking at some of the tape, I just kept watching him getting offensive rebounds and offensive rebounds and offensive rebounds. And there's nothing fancy about his game. It's blue collar. He just goes in and pursues and tracks with a relentless effort.
He comes from a basketball family as well. His dad, Gordon, played for the Idaho State Bengals, went to the NCAA tournament in 1987.
That's my ear. Have some
You
respect
remember
for
Gordon?
the 80s.
You remember Gordon?
I remember the 80s. I remember 87. Said back in mine.
Well, it looks like his son, at least at the moment, according to Joe Lenardi, will be heading back to the NCAA tournament this year after they won the Mountain West regular season and tournament last year.
You want to look to attack north-south. That was a challenge shot, so you want to put pressure on the home team and go east-west.
That was Bray Ivy on the lip-out 3.
This is where Cada's got to go. He's got a differential, go straight up for a dunk or a jump hook.
Use the pivot, good touch. Backing down Christian Anigwe. Cada does have about a 4-inch difference on Christian. And Abel Porter, good hustle play. You talked about it. Not only are the Aggies out-shooting San Jose State, but they're winning every 50-50 in effort play.
Yeah, and that's where you can see where the mindset is. Where's your mindset? Is there a willingness to compete?
42-11. It's a 7-0 run for Utah State in a game that's been about a 16-minute run altogether for the Aggies. A 19-0 lead, and they haven't looked back since the opening. Merrill again. Offensive rebound. What do you know, Justin Bean? Right place, right time. Abel Porter.
Fouls on the Aggies, Abel Porter is 7.
Abel Porter missing the 3, but doesn't matter a whole lot right now as Utah State at 42-11. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's. Try a Big Bacon Classic today. Well, welcome back. You're watching Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive, part of ESPN's Road to Champ Week, presented by Wendy's. A rout so far in the first half, 42-11 for Utah State. Sam Merrill, you saw being honored at senior night with his wife Canyon and his family and his sister there. A great moment for the 2,000-plus point scorer, Sam Merrill, who, as you can see, is 4th all-time in Mountain West career scoring. And a good list there, obviously, Jimmer Fredette, pretty well ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, but it's interesting. One stat, nice drive inside. There you go. That's what you want to do. Get inside, attack, take on the challenge, compete.
Trevin Dorius went down hard. I don't know if he caught an elbow to the nose, but was grabbing his face, then caught a knee while he was on the ground. Diogo Brito missing the 3. Dorius angry for catching the elbow, fighting for the offensive rebound. Held ball, possession arrow in favor of San Jose State.
Now, if you were to ask me, do I think Utah State is 30 points better than, and it looks like it may have an opportunity to build 30 points better than the Spartans? I would say no. but right now, emotionally, they look flat, and everything has been a challenge. And then you're catching them also on senior night. So the emotions are running high for the white jerseys.
Nothing falling for the blue jerseys. We're now 2 of 17 from 3. The offense for Utah State has slowed down a little bit after their hot start. Seneca Knight, he's still searching for his first bucket of the game.
Now, it's interesting. We talked about it in the open that Sam Merrill also will defend you. So he's taking on the challenge of going against their leading scorer. So far, that was a bad shot, so he's been helped out with shooting challenge shots.
2.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Sean Bairstow trying to go inside. Knocked away as Seneca Knight has it.
Keep attacking, keep attacking.
He does. He went right into Sam Merrill, who ripped it away out of bounds.
That was a good play. Good defensive play. Now, when you go in there and try to dunk it. Right there, too many hands, showing the ball too early. That was an easy possession. Knocking it out his hands.
A 6-minute drought for the San Jose State offense. Not getting anything going, shooting just 16% here in this first half. Brock Miller checks back into the game. Last time he checked in, he had 2 straight three-pointers off the bench.
Good ball movement. I like the ball movement. Now see if you can pay off the possession. Attack east to west.
Knight moving.
Tough shot. That's another bad shot.
Tried to bait a foul. Didn't get it. The referees have swallowed their whistles for the most part. Randy McCall, Vern Harris, Kevin Brill doing a nice job. Spin move. Justin B. Fantastic.
That move looked like an inebriated uncle in the summer in the backyard. I've seen that one before.
The drunk uncle wouldn't have been able to keep the dribble.
But some kind of way. And then the cigarette, the ash doesn't fall off of it either while he's playing. I have an uncle like that was like that.
Sounds like you're speaking from direct experience. Keita missed the lob from Merrill, just the timing not on. Under a minute and a half to go. Pull-up three-pointer for Brent Ivy, the senior from Huntington Beach, California.
Now, one thing San Jose State does not have is a point guard that gets easy shots. And you can see it in their leading score where Seneca tries to get his offense. Seneca Knight is taking bad shots because he doesn't have a point guard to set him up to get easier shots.
Knight is 0 for 6 so far in this game. Keita, good turnaround. Already with 14 points, the leading scorer in this game.
Yeah. Now, who on the blue jerseys can create a shot? That's a tough shot as well.
Richard Washington trying to create for himself there.
Yeah, who can draw 2 defenders and give an open possession.
Merrill knocks down his 4th triple of the first half.
For 3.
Merrill 20 or more points in 4 of his last 5 games, has 12 now before the half. 4-second difference between the game and the shot clock for the final 10 seconds. Knight driving, out of bounds. Turnover number 12 on the Spartans. Coming up on the E-Trade halftime report, Wake Forest upsetting Duke in double overtime, and then Player of the Year, who's in contention, and what kind of results did they have today? I think some mixed results in the highlights coming up at the E-Trade halftime report.
I think these highs and lows are going to be reflective in the tournament. I don't think all the ones are going to win. I don't think all the 2s, except for my Terps, are going to win.
That's that hometown bias.
What's your favorite team that you had?
Well, I went to Syracuse, so
oh, that's right. Oh, there
Orange.
was something that was irritating about you.
That's right.
Oh, cut his mic. The Cuse. You're my rookie, though.
The Cuse has not been loose.
I'm going to put it
year.
out there. I'm so proud of Eric Rothman. I like
thank
who he
you.
is as an announcer, as a young man.
And yet you
I'm
didn't,
proud of you.
You didn't bring me to Hawaii when you called the University of Hawaii game.
Yeah, you're right. I apologize.
That's fine.
I didn't bring my wife either, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Big E. Give me a break. (51-14). What a first half for Utah State.
Seneca Knight looking for his first bucket of the half. And that's just how the Spartans' first half went.
51.
Utah State shot 50% from the floor and 50% from three. They made 8 total three-pointers and were led by Merrill and Cada with 14 points each. The Aggies on senior night not disappointing this big crowd here at the D. Gunn Smith Spectrum. The Aggies looking for their 23rd win of the season. The E-Trade halftime report is next. Kevin Nagandi, Seth Greenberg, Alfonso Ellis at the break back in Bristol.